ಸರಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ನನಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು ಎಪಿಸೆಂಟರ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಯುಬೇಷನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸಲ್ಲಿ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಯುಬೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಎಪಿಸೆಂಟರ್. ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜಸ್, ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್, ಮತ್ತು ಅದರಿಂದ ಉಪಯೋಗಗಳೇನು, ಹೌ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಂತ. ಯು ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗದೇ ಇರೋವಂಥ ಇನೋವೇಷನ್ಸು ಹೊರ್ಗಡೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದು ನ್ಯೂ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟು ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 30-40 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕೇ ಅದನ್ನು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಇನೋವೇಟರ್ಸ್, ಆಲ್ ದಿ ಆಂಟರ್ಪ್ರೈನರ್ಸ್ ಇವಾಗ ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಗೋ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್, ದೇ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ಇನ್ ದ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್. ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಕನ್ವೆನ್ಷನಲಿ, ಟ್ರೆಡಿಷನಲಿ ನಮಗೇನು ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ಆಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟೀಸ್ಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ನಿಮಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, 99.99% ಜಾಬ್. We are preparing every one of you for going and working for somebody. That is a mindset issue, nothing else. Correct alva? That's only a mindset issue. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕೈಲಿ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗದೇ ಇರೋವಂಥದ್ದು ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನೀವೇ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಅದು ಕೆಲಸ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಥಾಟ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಆಂಟರ್ಪ್ರೈನರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗು ಮದನ್ ಪಡಕಿ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದರು, ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಡಿಷನ್ ಟು ಒನ್ ಕಂಪನಿ. ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಆ ಕಂಪನಿ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಒಂದು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಡಿಷನ್ಸ್ನ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟಿಗೆ ತರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಬಟ್ ದ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದೀಸ್ ಟು ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಥಿನ್ ಲೈನ್. One is a mindset issue, another one is the risk taking. Are we preparing enough? ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ತೊಗೊಳೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆ ಮೈಂಡ್ಸೆಟ್ನ ಬೆಳೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ನಾವೇ ಕೇಳಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿ? ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ರೇಟರೀಸ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಏನೇನು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೇನೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? ಒಂದು 5 ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಯು ಆಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸೈಟೆಡ್. ನಿಮ್ಗೇನು ಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ ಇವಾಗಿನ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ, ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಫೋನ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಯು ಆಲ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಎ ಕಮಾಡಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಸಮ್ ಕಂಪನಿ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವ್ರೇನು ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದಾರೋ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮೊದಲೇ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ದೇ ಕೀಪ್ ಆನ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್, ಯು ಆರ್ ಕೀಪ್ ಫಾಲೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ವ್ಯೂ, and you wanted to understand that and convert into a value is too difficult for today education system. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಸಿಸ್ಟಮಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟಿಗಿರೋ ಚಾಲೆಂಜು ಇಸ್ ಟೂ ಫೋಲ್ಡ್, ಪ್ರಾಬಬ್ಲಿ ಮಲ್ಟಿಫೋಲ್ಡ್, ಇಫ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ರಾಂಗ್. And coming to the TBI, which both Dr. Lohit and then Puneet is operating, it is another level, because you all move from one thinking of job to now moving to the other extreme of entrepreneurship is another 10 times bigger. So it's not an easy thing. So even to set this one day or maybe 2-day event, I don't know how many months they might have worked, talking to the people, communicating to the people, getting everybody to the campus, and then sharing their views and thoughts with you. Is that good enough, or you want to still more? So I think we need to stop feeding more to you so that you can need to struggle. My suggestion is don't give too many things to them, because they don't know the value of what is coming up. Correct? 21 ವರ್ಷ 22 ವರ್ಷ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಮನಿ ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು, ನೀವೇನ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ದುಡಿದು 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಮನಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ಗೆ ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀರಾ? ಮೊಬೈಲಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಮನೇಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್? ಏನು ಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ? ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟುಡೇ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಯು ಕಾಂಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆನ್? ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಯು ಟು ಆಸ್ಕ್. ಏನು ನೀವು ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂ ಅಡಿಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಿದ್ದೀರಾ ನಿಮಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಫಸ್ಟು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸೊಸೈಟಿಗೆ. ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಯವ್ರು ಏನಾದರೂ ಅವ್ರ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಥರ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಇವತ್ತೊಂದು SIT ಸಿದ್ಧಗಂಗಾ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಮಹಾಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ಬೆಳೀತಾನೇ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಸರ್ವಿಸ್, ಏನು ಸೇವೆ. ದುಡ್ಡು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಏನು ಸೇವೆ? ಏನು ಸೇವೆ? ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆ ಕೂತಿರೋರು ನೀವು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಕೇಳೋರು ಕೇಳಿಸ್ಕೊಳಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಆಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಇದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಓವರ್ಕಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಅಷ್ಟು ಎಫರ್ಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ 2 ದಿವಸ ಇಸ್ ದ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಗೈನ್. ಗಿವ್ ಯುವರ್ 20-30 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್. ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು, ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಇವಾಗ ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟೀಸ್ಗೆ 45 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಕೀಪಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಆನ್ ದಟ್ ಟೀಚಿಂಗ್ ದಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಅಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ಲಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ transform you all of you to one of the brilliant minds to come into the startup and an entrepreneurship is 100 times bigger task for this other people, trying an hard effort. How many times they need to go to talking to the people to bring here. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಮೈಂಡ್ಸೆಟ್ ನೀವು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಆಲ್ ದ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ಸ್, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಎಫರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಷನ್ಸ್, ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟು, ಇಟ್ ಗೋಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ವೇಸ್ಟ್. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ದ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್. It's absolutely national waste because this institution has built over many decades with many people's sweat and blood has been gone into that. And don't take this casually. If you take it casually, the first injustice you do for yourself is the one. Second, you do the injustice for your parents. Third, you do the injustice for the nation. Think about it. ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೂ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಗೂ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದಾದರೆ ವಿ ಬೀನ್ ವೆರಿ ಕಂಫರ್ಟಬಲ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇವನ್ ಟ್ರೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಎಲ್ಸ್. ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿರೋ ಶಕ್ತಿನ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ತೊಗೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ, ಸೊಸೈಟಿಗೆ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆರ್ ವಿ ಬಿ ಸೋ ಸೆಲ್ಫಿಶ್? ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸೆಲ್ಫಿಶ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಐ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಯು ಟು, SITಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಸಿದ್ಧಗಂಗೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ ವಾರಕ್ಕೊಂದ್ಸತಿ ವಾಲಂಟರಿ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಮಾಡಿ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಂಟ್ರಪ್ರಿನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆ. ನಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಅ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ. ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಗೋ, ಬಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ಸ್. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಯು ಆರ್ ಸೀನ್ ದಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ? ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ಲ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಕಲಿತಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೈಯರ್ ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ. ದೆರ್ ಇಸ್ ನೋ ಬಿಗ್ಗರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ದ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರೈನರ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ SIT and then JSS has done in Karnataka. ಸೊ ಮದನ್ ಪಡಿಕೆ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಊರುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ಅವನು ರೋಡ್ ಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋನು, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಫೀಲ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಅವರೇನೋ ಬದುಕಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್, ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ನಾವು ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಬೇಕು. ನಿಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಾನ ಇದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಒಂದು ತರಕಾರಿ ಮಾರೋಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇದೆಯಾ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಫಸ್ಟ್, ಆನ್ ದಿ ರೋಡ್ ಸೈಡ್. ಅದು ಒಂದು ಅವಮಾನ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಮುಂದೆನೇ ಹೋಗಲ್ಲ ನೀವು. ಹ್ಯೂಮನ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ putting yourself and then telling that you are there for serve. ನೀವು ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಕಲಿಯೋಕ್ಕಾಗೋದೇ ಇರಂತಿಲ್ಲ. ಮೇಡಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಸ್ಕಿಲ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಟಾಟ್. ಮೈಂಡ್ಸೆಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. ಹೌ ಡು ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ದ ಮೈಂಡ್ಸೆಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಕ್ಯಾಂಪಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಬಿಗ್ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್. I'm seeing from last 5 years everywhere. Every campuses I go, I'm looking into that. What a waste of ಅಷ್ಟು ಎಫರ್ಟ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ until unless you participate in that, it never goes. It never happens. Government is putting a lot of money, lot of people involving into that just to reach you, telling that these are the facilities are there in India. Do you all feel that India is transforming? ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? Do you all feel that India transform ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ? You are all part of it or not? ನೀವು ಅದರ ಒಂದು ಭಾಗನ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಭಾಗ ಯಾವ ಥರ? ಆಸ್ ಎ ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೇಟರ್? ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಯು ಆಲ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಎ ಸೈಲೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಟ್? ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಗೋ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ಇವಾಗ August 15th ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? 75 years ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್, ರೈಟ್? 1947ಗಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶ ನೋಡಿದೆ. ಫಾರ್ ವಾಟ್? ಯಾವುದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ? ಏನಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಫೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು? ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ಗೆ. ಸೊ 75 years we are still talking about that India need to developing for what? 1.4 billion now population. India is a very beautifully and resourceful country compared to any of the other countries. ನೀವು ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರು ಮೀಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಪೀಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿರೋ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಶ್ರೀಲಂಕಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಉಕ್ರೇನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಮಿಡಲ್ ಈಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಯು ಆರ್ ಸೀನಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ? ಇಫ್ ಯು ಡೋಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ ನೈಬರ್ಸ್ ವಾಟ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್. They don't have any control about what's happening around that. Is it about education? Absolutely. You are all not knowledgeable. Everybody is. For what? So I'm slightly deviating away from just trying to put the thought in telling that if you don't act now, Madaki heliro tara 150 million unemployments road bandre, including some of you go into that, only the next thing happen is only the fight. Fight for what? Food. Nothing else. Fight for what? To live. Water. Good air. What are the now entire world is facing today? Shortage of food, shortage of water, shortage of good air, health. Correct? So just give a thought about that. ಇವತ್ತಿನ opportunities ಏನಿದೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ, every campus is a kind of innovation center. Everybody is an innovator. Everything what you do day in and out should be in that. In the academic objectives, one side is there, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು objective it has to be this. How do you need to fulfill your what is already structured? The certification, the marks card, everything is fine. You assume that everybody is getting 90 plus today. I'm not surprised that it is so easy. I think if Vidya Shankar time, if somebody is getting a 55, 60, it's the highest, kind of a thing. And probably 20 years back when we are reaching 70% is another highest level. Now everybody is 90 plus. So is the marks and indicators of our knowledge? Never. And it will never be. And don't assume that you got some fantastic marks and then what you do next? You pack everything, all your books, it goes to the shelf and it will be there itself. Until unless you all put your heart and mind to transform yourself, ನೀವು ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ you feel the sufferings are ahead. ಮುಂದೆ ಅದು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೇನೆ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡದೇನೋ ಮುಳುವಾಗೋ ಬಹಳ ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆಗಳಿದೆ. Nothing in this world is free. ಯಾರು ಏನು ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. ಹೌದಾ? ಏನು ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿ ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ. Everything you all assuming that it is coming free, whether it is in our mobile, you feel that it is free? No. Somebody is paying and you are also become a commodity of the same product at the end of the day. So technologies are transforming fantastically. Vidya Shankar has shown that so many things are happening into that. So there's a big gap between what the entire world is looking at and what the grassroots problems are. There is no better example than it at your house or maybe at your nearby. How many are already from nearby villages? You are seeing so many things, right? India ne tagoli, south to north, correct? South is so resourceful, education institution, research, a lot of things happens. UP, only from last 5 years they started seeing the roads, power to the houses, health centers. Karnataka had all that 30 years back. So the more you get into the comfort zone, it is the biggest mistake you are making for yourself. Don't be in a comfort zone. Be comfortable with uncomfortable activities. That is a challenge life throws at you. If you don't prepare for that, the entire effort of your parents, your own mindset, it will not going to help. Getting a job is fantastic. It is easy today. Easy. Damn easy. Getting a job is damn easy, according to me. Because you have so thousands of jobs, but if you want particular job, particular way of engaging, you need to work towards that. If you want the prosperity for yourself, for your community and your niche, think about that. You have numerous potential. Each one of you have numerous potential. Human is like, as I said, infinity. Like, otherwise all the things what we are seeing happening in India, maybe outside it's not possible until unless you think in that direction. Okay, so coming to back to the TBI, why the difference is TBI is doing is today is giving an additional opportunity. Being you in a campus, you can try your ideas to work, implement, and you can take it to the market while you're in a campus. Not there maybe many years. Fantastic. Now just look at that. Your knowledge can be utilized by some company or maybe some organization. The same knowledge can also be applied to find multiple solutions, as Padik was mentioning into that. It can be fantastic things. You can see that. You can stand on your own. You can employ a lot of people. You can give job to the people, and solution itself is there. ಐ ನೋ ಇಟ್ಸ್, ನಾನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿರಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಆ ಥಿಂಕೇ ಬರೋಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಷನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. How many EDPs you can do, how many sessions you can do like this, it's keep on going until unless you accepting it and then be a part of it. How many of you have been to your TBI in your campus? How many times you have been? How many of you have gone there? Technology Business Incubator is a community thing. ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಆಗಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಿ ಎಂಗೇಜ್ ಆದರೆ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಮೋರ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟೀಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಸೊ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಶೋ ದ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್, ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಎಂಗೇಜ್ ಯು ಇನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್. ರೈಟ್. ಗೂಗಲ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಪ್ಪ? ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಲ್ವಾ? ವಾಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಡಿಫ್ರೆನ್ಸ್? ನೀವಾಗಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಅದು. ಗೂಗಲ್ ಈಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸಿಟಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್, be frugal to find ideas so that Google can also you can overcome with that. So put your ideas and think, ask people whether you can really worth going into that. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಪೇಪರ್ ಓದ್ತೀರಾ? ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್, ನಾಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಮೊಬೈಲ್, ನಾಟ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ anything. Right. So beautiful things. Today the writers are even more creative to be on a print media than on a digital media, because getting an attention on a print media is much more harder than in a digital media. So look at that newspapers, because they will be more creative, more engaging and more informative than 10 years and 20 years back. And all your research things, most of the things on the finance, on the technology side is keep on publishing on every newspaper. Illa sir, book ಓದಕ್ಕೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ, ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಪೇಪರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಓದೋದು. How many of you feel that you don't have a time? ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಏನಕ್ಕಪ್ಪ? ಸಾರಿ, ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ. ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಇರ್ತೀರಾ? ಎಷ್ಟು ಅವರು? ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ 24 hours? ನಿಮಗೆ 18 ಅವರ್ ಮಾತ್ರ ದಿನಕ್ಕೆ? ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. 24 ಗಂಟೆಗೂ ಬೆಲೆ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಕೆನ್ ಯು ಮೇಕ್ 24 into 48? ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು, 24 ಗಂಟೆನೇ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಇರೋದು. ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ನೀವು ಕಾಲೇಜ್ಗೂ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ ನೀವು ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗೂ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅದರಲ್ಲೇ 1 hour ನೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಸೈಡ್ಗಿಟ್ರೆ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್. ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ 24 ಗಂಟೆ ತಾನೇ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು. ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್? ಮಾಡಿಲ್ವಾ? ಡೋಂಟ್ ಗಿವ್ ದಟ್ ಬ್ಲಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಯೂಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ವೇ ಆಫ್ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಟ್. ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಎ ಟೈಮ್. ಐ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಆರ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಟ್ರೂತ್. ಈ ನೇಷನ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಯೂಸ್ಗಳು ಆಚೆ ಬರಬೇಕು ನಾವು. ಅಗ್ರಿ? ಟೈಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಗೆ ನಾವೇ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಯು ಆಲ್ ಇವನ್ ನಾಟ್ ಇವನ್ ಎಂಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ವಾಟರ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ನೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ನೀವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಓವರ್ಕಮ್ ದಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಥಿಂಗ್. SID ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ವೇ ಆಫ್ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್, ಆ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಟ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಎಂಗೇಜ್. ಪಡಕಿ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ದಟ್ ವೆರಿ ಕೇರ್ಫುಲಿ. ಅದೇ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟೀಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ, ಅದೇ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟೀಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ನಾನು ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ 9 ಗಂಟೆಯಿಂದ ಮಾತ್ರ 4 ಗಂಟೆಯಿಂದ ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಏನೂ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ವೇರ್? ಸೊ ಪುಟ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆರ್ಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೈಂಡ್. ನಿಮ್ಮ ತಂದೆ ತಾಯಿಗಳು ಏನು ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಕಳಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕೀಪ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಫಾರ್ 2 hours ಔಟ್, ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ half an hour ವಿತ್ ಯು. ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತು ನೀವು ಮೊಬೈಲಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? One after the other. Internet ಇದೆ. See, that is another advantages this entire technology has given. If you think that it is free, it is not free. And if you think that it's both good and bad for you, as a students, if you be comfortable with what you are having in hand, is a both powerful and as well as a distraction. It's a ticking time bomb what you are having in your hand. How best you can use it is up to you. We can come and share our experiences a day. Faculties can tell all the values to you. Until unless you walk, nothing moves. So TBI ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ you're like ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ ರಿವರ್. ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎ ರಿವರ್. ಯು ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ರಿವರ್. ಅಂದರೆ ನದಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ವಾಟರ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ನದಿಗೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ವೇಸ್ಟು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ TBS are like a check dams, telling that there is a possibility you can transform your knowledge into something else. ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್? ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು? ಚೆಕ್ ಡ್ಯಾಮ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇರಿಗೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಪವರ್ಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ರಿಕ್ರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ TBIs are exactly like thing. So before it is going into the market, give a try. Nothing to lose. ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಫೇಲ್ ಆದರೆ ನೀನು ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಫೇಲ್ ಆದಂತ ಯಾರು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಂಡೀಡ್ ಅಪ್ರಿಷಿಯೇಟ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಪುಟ್ ಅನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಎಫರ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಬೀನ್ ಅಪ್ರಿಷಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ ಟುಡೇ, ನೆವರ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್. I don't know about backside, but that is exactly the things today. So more than success, we are looking at what are the lessons we are learning from the failures and then taking it to the next level. That give you one step up. Confidence ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ. You seen it. This is exactly the meaning. ನೀವು ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನದಿ ತೀರದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಡ್ಜಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ವಿಮ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಪೂಲಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿಯೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಕೋಚ್ ಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ TBI ಇದೆ. ಗುರುಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಗುರಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಗುರು ಹಿಂದೆ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾರೇನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. So it's all about you first. You are the centerpiece. College gives the facility. Faculties are like mentors and coaches. Infrastructure is like, all the resources you are having. You should plan and then look at how we can take it up. ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ಸ್ಪೂನ್ ಫೀಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಬಂದರೆ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಇನ್ ಅ KG. ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ನೀವು. ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಪ್ರಪಂಚ 16 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕೆ ಜನ ಆಚೆ ಬಂದು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದೊಂದು ಡಿಸಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ. ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಲೋಯಿಂಗ್. ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ. 21 ವರ್ಷ ಬಂದರೂ ನಾವಿನ್ನೂ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಂಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬಿಡಬೇಡವಾ ಅಂತ. ಪಡಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ 2% of the population, especially this generation, transformed into entrepreneurs, it will transform the entire nation. That is just as simple as a math. You are looking at only 2%. ಒಂದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ 200 ಜನ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. 2% of what? 5-6 ಜನ ಆಂಟರ್ಪ್ರೆನರ್ಸ್. 10 ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಡಿ, ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ, ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ರೂಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಥಿಂಗ್. ದ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ನೇಷನ್ ಟುಡೇ ಈಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಂಟರ್ಪ್ರೆನರ್ಶಿಪ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತದು? ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರು ಒಂದೊಂದು ಅಂಗಡಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ಮರ್ಸ್. ಫಾರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಸೇಕ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ದ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಬೋನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ದ ಆಂಟರ್ಪ್ರೆನರ್ಸ್. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ? ಬಟ್ ವಿ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಪ್ರೌಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ನಾವು ರೈತರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ನಾಚಿಕೆ ಅನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಈಗಿನ ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ. ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ರೈತರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೆ ನಾಚಿಕೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಸನ್ನಿವೇಶ ನಾವೇ ತಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ನೋ, ಬಿ ಪ್ರೌಡ್ ಆಫ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. IT ಇಂದ ವಾಪಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ, ವಿದ್ಯಾಶಂಕರ್ ಮೇ ಬಿ ಆಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದ್ಯಾಟ್. IT ಇಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಕಡೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಆರ್ಗ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಫುಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಈಸ್ in next 20 years you will be around 8.5 billion population. The only country can feed the entire world is India. So it's a missing opportunity that ನೀವು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಏನೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So you have to make the best use of it. So problem and solution, ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆನೇ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, is already ಪಡಕಿ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. I don't want to touch base this. The more you look at the problem side, solutions are multiple. So you are not looking at a Q&A kind of a thing where one question, one answer never exists in the world. It's only because of academic structures only. You have multiple solutions if you think through that. So simple things what you can do. Mobile is a beautiful thing, so you can have information, but you need to use your brain. Correct alva? So how do you do that? You need to be away from that first. You need to be away from that. Put pen and paper back. You need to go back to our Gurukula times kind of a thing, because that's how all the innovations happen. All these Aryabhatas were used, technology use ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅವಾಗ. You are talking about space science few hundred years back. ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿತ್ತು ಅವಾಗ? ಇಂಟರ್ನೆಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿತ್ತು? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಸೋ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲಿ ಡನ್ from the people in India, then it has been taken by word now. So now because of you are seeing lot many things on your mobile, you feel that we are not doing anything, but so many things are happening. Technology ಬಗ್ಗೆ, Facebook ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಲ್ಲ. ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಫ್ಯಾಂಟಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಒಂದು ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಯಾವುದದು? ಸಾರಿ, ರೈಟ್. UPI is one of the only in a world like it transformed the entire nation. Even today, America, Europe, we are having to giving a payment to the even a chai wala on the roadside, or maybe including tomorrow. You can think about that. Kelalade road alli kutkondiroreಲ್ಲ payment ತಗೋತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. You are not proud about that. You feel that this is one of the beautiful things happened in a world for India, but we are not talking about it. Now all the other countries are actually taking the technology, and especially South African countries or South American countries. Aadhaar. You'll see the transformation maybe in few years kind of a thing, how it will going to help everybody. Because it is actually removing all the bureaucratic and other things. What nammalenu any scheme ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಧ ಸ್ಕ್ಯಾಮಲ್ಲೇ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದನ್ನ ಈ ಆಧಾರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ put all the blocks into that. Right. So I try to sum up. Ready, ma'am. I try to sum up few things. Technology Business Center, ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. NEP ಪ್ರಕಾರ you will have every incubators will be there in every college. It's just not a showpiece of a thing. Is for the students coming and then engaging and discussing. First thing ನೀವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರು ನಿಮ್ದು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಫಸ್ಟು. Have a dialogue first. Dialogue ಇಂದ then put onto the paper. Then think what you can take it to the next level. At least start with that process. Simple. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಕಾಸು ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. Including your own project ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, other than the procedural thing bitti, go out of the box way of engaging that, put those kind of ideas and debate ಮಾಡಿ first. A problem ge you can find a solution or not. Solution idre multiple irutte. Nimage technology beka illa people related beka. You will find it out. You know what is the companies are facing today? It's not the technology. It's already developed. It's a human capital which already Vidya Shankar is mentioned into that, is highly valued. If you are intellectual, experience, expertise, you are more valued. Otherwise, whether it is taking out a job anta. Yes, it is true, because earlier is only companies were using people to operate the machines, like mechanical machines. Today, a lot of things are done by machine itself. What is left is a human intellectual needs to come out better than what it was before. In a better way. It's not that they are replacing completely, but we cannot have everybody being a part of that. So it is giving a level playing thing to most of you. So that is the beauty of that. So ನಿಮ್ಮ ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಐಡಿಯಾನ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್, ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಟು ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಿಲೇಜಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕದು ಮಾಡೋದು ಐಡಿಯಾನೇ ಬರ್ಬೋದು. Maybe women related, children related, health related, farming related, food related, energy related. No, one thing, Sri Lanka, that example. What is the issue there?
Inflation.
High inflation is the outcome of something else. Financial indiscipline is an outcome of something the decision make. First thing, what happened there?
Tourism.
So where were the things actually, like the transformation actually, food in the start agida problem adu. Food in the start agida problem adu. Like they already started seeing that. So changing completely something from one to other one is created a problem. It's like cascading effect that. Food in the problem start agiddu. The larger population of the country was in agrarian like India. If they are depressed and they are maybe gone into the state where they are not earning. Farmers ಎಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಿ earn ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಇಯರಲ್ಲಿ 2-3 times ಬೇರೆ ಅಗ್ರಿಕಲ್ಚರಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲೇನಾಗಿದೆ, ಅದು 1 or 2 ಮಿಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಿ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಲುಕ್ ಅಟ್ ಅನದರ್ 2. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಮಿಸ್ 2 or 3 ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್ಸ್? ಸೊ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೇರ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್. ಎಕಾನಮಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಕ್ಯಾಶ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಏನು ಸರ್ಕ್ಯುಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ಡ್. ಸೊ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಬಾರೋ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಓಕೆ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಗಿವ್? ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? Of course, China has given huge amount of money to Sri Lanka for their benefit, because they want to be close to India to take care of us. India to take care of us means watching like a security guards, because they want to see what we are all doing. That is the truth. ಸೊ ಆ ಕಡೆ ಸಿಗಾಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು ಫಿನಾನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಕ್ರೈಸಿಸ್ಗೆ ಬಂದು ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ದೆನ್ ದೇ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವೇರ್ ದ ಮನಿ ಈಸ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನೋ ಬಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಬಟ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಈಸ್ ದ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕಂಟ್ರಿ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ದಟ್ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಮಂತ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಮೆಡಿಸಿನ್, ವಿತ್ ದ ಫುಡ್, ವಿತ್ ದ ಫ್ಯೂಯಲ್. The lobby of fuel and the lobby of oil and currency is the biggest thing. So we are all proud that India is not in that situation today. And we are able to help a lot of people, even in a pandemic. Biggest lessons. And we have been able to give the vaccines to our own country, 1.4 billion people, and then also be able to help a lot of other countries within a matter of 6 to 8 months kind of a thing. Are we not moving ahead, transforming in that way? Connect those bigger things to your life as well. Every community, every region, every city need to think like that. Cities and villages needs to grow prosperous that. If the prosperity is not there, thinking that only Prime Minister needs to do, Chief Minister needs to do, only college needs to do, what you will do? What you do for the country? ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದನ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು ಅವತ್ತದೇನೆ. ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಅದು? ವಿವೇಕಾನಂದ ಅವ್ರು ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು ಅದೇನೆ. ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಕಂಟ್ರಿಗೆ? ನಿಮಗೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ಅಟ್ ದಿ ಏಜ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ 2021 and then if the thinking and thought process of ಬಿಗ್ ಪರ್ಸನಾಲಿಟೀಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ. So if the inspiration is on one side on the industry, you take the inspiration also from the other side, from all this people are put their life in and then contributed to the country. There's the bigger contributions. Industry is also required, and also we need the people who are also selflessly serving, like what Swamiji has done many decades. Can you think about that even doing for a year? ಏನು ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಸರ್ ನಾನು 1 ವರ್ಷ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಆಗತ್ತಾ? 1 ವರ್ಷ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಥರ. ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಪವರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಪವರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸರ್ವಿಂಗ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಪುಟ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಇನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್, serve the community, serve the city, serve your community, you will learn a lot of things. You'll come out with a lot of ideas. I am damn sure about that. So system ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವಕಾಶಗಳು ತುಂಬ ಇದೆ. ಫ್ಯಾಕಲ್ಟೀಸ್ನ ಬ್ಲೇಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ಕಾಲೇಜ್ನ ಬ್ಲೇಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ದೇಶ ಅಂತೂ ಮೊದಲೇ ಬ್ಲೇಮ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು. ಸೊ ಯು ಆರ್ ದ ಓನರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಓನ್ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್. ಯು ಆರ್ ದ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಮೇಕರ್ಸ್. ಸಿಸ್ಟಮ್ ನೀವು ಏನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಅದ್ರ ಪಾಡಿಗೆ ಅದು ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀರಾ, ಅದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಅದನ್ನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಪೀಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಥರ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳು ನಿಮಗೆ ಎವ್ರಿ ಮಂತ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನೀವೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕದು. ನೀವು ಬಂದು ಕೇಳಬೇಕು, ಸರ್ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಮೋರ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್, ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಲರ್ನ್ ಡೂ ದಿಸ್, ಈ ಥರ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಇದೆ, ಕರ್ಕೊಂಬನ್ನಿ, ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಮೀಟ್ ದೋಸ್ ಪೀಪಲ್, ಗೋ ಬಿಯಾಂಡ್ ದೆಮ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್. ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಯಾರೂ ಬರಲ್ಲ. So that should be attitude where you can put yourself first as a student community. That's why you have more power and more energy than anyone else. You want to put in a thought, right? So that is what you need to do. So use effectively. Country required this and every institution required this, because tomorrow what we are seeing is universities are innovation centers, nothing else. It's not only preparing students for the job market, but they are the innovation centers entire. Every lab is an innovation center, not necessarily only TBI. Every department and laboratories are the innovation centers, because that's where we need to head towards that. We got too less a time in the future to think about, okay, we did not have this, we did not have that kind of a stuff. Okay, so with this I'll thank you for SIT. Dasra ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಾ? We are doing it. We are doing it as startup Dasra, startup Mysore startup pavilion ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ 3 days ಮೈಸೂರಿನ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಪ್ಗಳೇ, ಗ್ರಾಸ್ ರೂಟ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಪ್ಸು, ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಪ್ಸು, MSMEನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋರು ಅಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಸೇರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ. ಇಫ್ ಗಾಡ್ ಗ್ರೇಸ್ ಅಗ್ರಿ ಆದರೆ ಪ್ರೈಮ್ ಮಿನಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಇನಾಗ್ರೇಟ್ ವರ್ಚುವಲಿ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಮೀಜಿಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ಮಹಾರಾಜ ಆಫ್ ಮೈಸೂರ್ is a part of that. So ಇದೊಂದು community effort, like how SID is doing today. I wish and also support ತುಮಕೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದೆ ಇವಾಗಲ್ಲ ಇದ್ರು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 2 years ಅಲ್ಲಿ we bring every community to tell that we should able to do. ನೀವು ಗಂಟಿನಲ್ಲೇ ನೀವು ನಮ್ಮ ಕಣ್ಣಿಂದ ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾತಾಡ್ದಿರೋದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ದಸರಾ ಫೆಸ್ಟಿವಲ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ, ಫಾರ್ ನೇಷನ್, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಪ್ ಫೆಸ್ಟಿವಲ್ ಬೇಕಾ ಬೇಡವಾ? ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಮುಂದೆ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಸೊ ವಿಟ್ನೆಸ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ 3 days We are having a startup festival kind of a thing. Technologies ಚಿಕ್ಕದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನೋಡಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. Not only you, we bought in school kids to work on that. 8ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಂದ 12ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಜೊತೆ ನಾವು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. And absolutely true, they are more innovative than the adults. And there is a display of all their ideas, and couple of them already got funded. So that's what we are doing in Mysuru. We want the same thing happen every district. ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಅದು ಅದ್ರ ಪಾಡ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಬೆಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನೀವೇನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಗೆ. ಸಿಟೀಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ತುಮಕೂರು, ಮೈಸೂರು, ಮಂಡ್ಯ, ಹಾಸನ್, ದಾವಣಗೆರೆ, ಹುಬ್ಳಿ, ಧಾರವಾಡ, ಮಂಗಳೂರು, ದೋಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸಿಟೀಸ್ ನೀಡ್ಸ್ ಟು ಗ್ರೋ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವೇ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ನಾವೇ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರದ್ದೊಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ
A city of palaces, gardens, wildlife and enchanting rivers. But Mysuru is much more than this. Mysuru has been a heaven for intellectuals, writers, artists, knowledge seekers and R&D. Now it's an ideal destination for startups. It is one of the earliest industrialized and electrified cities in India. 18 items from Mysuru region have got unique GI tags. The Maharajas of Mysuru had a lifelong commitment towards economic prosperity of Mysuru kingdom through revolutionary actionable vision. Mysuru has been a land of visionaries like Mr. M. Visvesvaraya, who established one of the earliest iron and steel plants in India, the Bangalore Press in Mysuru on 5th August 1916. Mysuru is also the second largest exporter of software in Karnataka. In line with its legacy, Mysuru continues supporting innovations and new age technologies. Come, be a part of the ever-growing Mysuru startup community. Partner us as we revolutionize and enable the startup ecosystem. Join us on this exciting journey on 5th, 6th and 7th August as we empower startups to contribute to a digital India and Atmanirbhar Bharat. With new age technologies in areas like cloud, ONDC, fintech, blockchain, ESDM, agriculture, healthcare and many more. Join us for the Mysuru Startup Pavilion and Conclave to celebrate India's 75th independence.
Congratulate Sri Shiv Shankar for his extreme efforts that he is putting into Mysore Startup Pavilion. We wish him all the best for his upcoming program, and we wish that Sri Narendra Modi ji will also come and inaugurate. His effort will be taken care. So I request Sri Shiv Shankar to come to the dais, and also I request Sri Vidya Shankar to come and honor him. Thank you very much. Education. He is the co-founder of Inunity, through which he envisions to empower the youth with an entrepreneurial mindset to build products that will impact the lives of the next billion that dwell in Tier 2 and Tier 3 cities. He is also part of the advisory panel of KEDM, Karnataka Digital Economy Mission, and task force member at GAIN, Global Alliance for Mass Entrepreneurship. Being a governing council member at the Sayatri College of Engineering and Management, Bangalore, Mr. Tellis is responsible for the strategic planning and organizational structure of the institution. Apart from being an eloquent public speaker, he is an avid writer and blogger and has been successfully mentoring students in their entrepreneurship journey since the last decade. On behalf of our SIT and Siddhartha Technology Business Incubator, I welcome Mr. Johnson Tellis and I request him to come to the dais.
But I presume that you will also become researcher one day, so that it also makes sense to you guys. Yeah, do I have your attention? What's this topic about? If you have gone through it before or if you have not gone through it, it's okay. But anybody, any idea on community-centric products? How many of you have built projects here? I just want to have a fair idea. Nobody has built projects. The ones who are sitting on the top. How many of you guys have built projects here? Just raise your hands. Cool. Is this your mini project? ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಮಾಡಿಸಿ ತಂದಿದ್ದೀರಿ? Okay. Is this a mini project you guys have built? Rest of you guys copied his projects. How many of you have done projects by somebody else? Okay. You have not done projects. You have not done projects through somebody else. Does that mean you guys don't have a project? You have not submitted yet? ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಬಿಡ್ಲಿ 10 ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದು ಅಷ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಅಷ್ಟು ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಅಜೆಂಡಾ? How many of you are in third year, fourth year? First year students is it? Oh my God! You guys are first year students. How many of you are from second year? Okay, how many of you are from first year? You just came to college. What are you guys doing here? Go sit in class. Okay, interesting. So what's interesting is that being in first year and second year, you'll actually get an extra time to focus on things that I'm going to say. Okay, so bear with me. I just have 10-15 slides, but it's not going to be a lecture. So, and I know how it feels to sit here and just listen to it. So I'll try to keep it as simple as possible, as interesting as possible. Wherever you feel that you guys have doubt, you can just raise your hands. You can say stop, saku, hogi, I'll go to Mangalore. That's also fine. Okay, cool. Are we there? Are we there? And I'll also give you a couple of examples. If you don't understand some things, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ವಿಷಯ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ತಬಕ ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನಾನೊಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಿಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ, ಸರಿನಾ? ಬಟ್ ಮನೆಗೆ ಹೋಗುವಾಗ ಅವ್ರು ಎಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಾರ್ದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸರಿ. ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ಏನಾದರೂ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಉಂಟಾ? ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ಗಿವ್ ಅನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನಿ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಟಿ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಥಾಟ್? ಡೈಲಿ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್. ಬೇರೆ Instagram, ಬೇರೆ? When I say community, I'm not just referring to network, okay? I'm generally referring to a community at large. Google. Can you give some examples of local communities that you know, which covers the local news? How about Josh Talks? Specifically because of the local region. They cover hyper-local news. Something happens, like for example, I was in Bangalore and I got to know that the city near my house in Bangalore has been flooded. Now the only information that I get is in my mom's status. Correct? Other than that, where do I find? ನಮ್ಮ ಗುಡ್ಲ ಚಾನಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ, ಅವರು ಬರುವಾಗ ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ, ಆಗ ನಮ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಳುಗಿ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. So I wanted to check where is that hyper local news coming real time. So that's what Daily Hunt or Josh Talks is. Josh Talks is a subsidiary, but Daily Hunt was something that was focusing on that. So I just want to give you some idea about how you can build a business, a sustainable business, a profitable business from problems that are happening in your area. Okay? As students, what can we learn from this? As students, what can we build from this? Not all of you guys are going to, become entrepreneurs, but you can pick a lot of elements from this. Perhaps you can try something in the next 4 years and make sense out of it. That's my agenda, okay? Cool? And I'll give you some of my stories also, which might not be interesting, but that's okay. Yeah. Just look at these numbers. And it's staggering numbers. 8 billion by 2040. Who do you think is the major contributor? Our country. Our country, right? 8 billion population by 2040. Look at the sheer size that we are in right now. Correct? About 5 billion right now. Do we have enough space? Hey, nimge problem agide. Ishtu vishala jaga untu. But you understand, right? The sheer size that we are in right now, we already have a lot of scarcity in terms of, access to fresh water, good food, good healthcare, etc. But the moment you double these numbers to 8 billion, that's going to be a massive number. How do you supply every resource that is required for that size? Think about food. Think about job opportunities. 85% of the jobs are not yet created. That are going to be created in the future are not yet created. And we keep hearing about robots taking our job, AML taking our job, right? And you guys are not bothered because you have bunked the classes and come here. Correct? Now, 85% of the jobs, if they are not yet created, how do you guys cope up with the trends so that you become a part of the future? 600 million jobs are to be created in the next 10 years. These are all global statistics. Even if you look at it from the Indian point of view, I think in the next 10 lakh people are getting into the workforce every year from the next 3 years onwards. 10 lakh. Now that is the number of jobs that needs to be created. Correct? But we are all sab changa hai. We are sitting in our classrooms. Correct? When we are outside our college, when we are graduating from the college, we are all pretty sure, right, that we are going to have a job. Namma hesaರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಬರ್ದಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Correct alva? Question is, who will create jobs? So one of the biggest bet that has taken in this decade is on youth. Let's look at why. If you look at the statistics, the superpowers that we talk about, right? India is also wanting to be one of those. We are in top 5. But if you look at the numbers, we have the largest demography of youth. We beat everybody in that, which means a lot more is expected from us, and a lot more opportunities will come from us. About 26% of our people are under the age of 15, and about 50 to 55% are at an average of 55%. That's average age of Indian is 26 to 30, within that range. You understand that 25% is small, but if you look at the numbers, it is almost 1.2 billion to 25%. It's almost 250, 260 million. We are talking about 50% of our Indians are 26 years. It means 600 million people are 26 years. That's possibly you in the next ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು 18 17 14 ಎಷ್ಟಾಯಿತು 20 ನೀನೇನು ಫೇಲ್ ಆದ 2 ಸರ್ತಿ ಮತ್ತೆ so you understand it's you in the next 5 years. So which means if I've given you the previous statistics of talking about 600 million jobs being created globally, of talking about another 10 lakhs jobs to be created every year, somewhere the responsibility also comes on us. Or at least if we are productive youth, if we are entrepreneurial youth, then whichever organization that we get into, we might grow that organization, creating more opportunities for others. Clear? Clear? So in either cases, the central aspect is entrepreneurial mindset. I don't want to get deep into that, but that's something that I'm really passionate about. How to build an entrepreneurial mindset in youth. I'll give a quick example. We were 8 people when we started our engineering, and we joined a college which was fairly new. It was just 4 years young college. Now what happens to parents when, I'm a merit student. I scored really well. But I didn't want to go too far away from my house, so my parents said, you join some college in Bangalore. And this college that I wanted to join was just 4 years young. What do you think is the first response of the parents? They'll say, will they say that? Just 4 years young. They don't have a history, they don't have great placements record, and you're a merit student, people are banking on you. What do you think would be the first response of the parents? They were too scared. They said, don't go. We have our own, college. We will go there. Our own colleges are not my parent doesn't own a college. They said, we can get connected and then get into a college which was fairly reputed in that region. 4 years young college. And then we eventually, in a span of 6 months, 12 of us came together. We became good friends. Now we wanted to do something different in engineering, just like how you guys are trying, but not bunking classes. But we wanted to do something different. So all of us had to write a dream. Okay? And one guy wrote. He dropped that and then he built his own startup on drones. He's still in US. The second guy who said he wants to get into research, and now you know the answer. Did he become a researcher? Yes, he worked in IAC for 3 years. Then he became a researcher in a Japanese company. The third guy who said he wanted to become a robotist, did he become a robotist? Obviously, I told the first two answers, right? So he got into Leeds University in UK and now he's working with a consortium of 5 universities to build surgical robots. His master's project was to build a robot that goes into pyramids and does exploration inside. But now he's building a surgical robot for curing cataract. He's working in Austria. And the fourth guy who said he wanted to build a gaming industry, he built his own gaming company. Now he's 20 plus team. We are all average people. ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಡ್ ನೋಡಿದರೆ ಸತ್ಯವಾಗಲೂ ಯಾರು ಕೂಡ ಅವರನ್ನು ನಂಬ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. We were all average people. But something that was common in all of us was the entrepreneurial mindset. How do we progress in spite of uncertainties? When things are not clear, how do we still keep ourselves motivated? So that's something that I'm really curious about. Okay? Now, when we speak about entrepreneurial mindset or the entrepreneurial opportunity, there are two kinds of opportunity. The first one is necessity based, the second one is opportunity based. Which one do you think you should focus on? Vote agli yaralla Congress ige kai etti. How many of you think it is necessity based? Just raise your hands. Yenappa ninge majority ne illa minority alli idya ninu. How many of you think it is opportunity based? Baki avrige enagide kaigella. Yes. So if you look at necessity based, it is basically out of having no other options. In India, there is unemployment, but then there is self-employment also. That number is not there. But trust me, self-employment numbers are bigger than unemployment numbers. Self-employment is without having an option. I didn't know what to do. I did engineering, but there was no jobs available, so I ended up building a business of myself. And most of the time, self-employment is 1 or 2 people only. Myself and my family. But that's another unemployment in disguise. The numbers are very large. But on the contrary, opportunity-based entrepreneurship is where the buck is where the wealth is. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't focus on this because they don't know where the opportunities are, because they did not explore things while you are studying. You have 4 years. If you explore things, you find one opportunity, you bank on it, and you work on it for the next 3 years, possibly you will explore more wealth opportunities in it. Now that's what I really want to focus on. Where is the opportunity? Where can you guys work in? You are in TUMKUR. You have a great incubator facility here. How do you explore more opportunities? And where are those sectors that you can focus on? And how can you use this TBI that you are having in your institute to bank onto that opportunities? This is where the opportunity is. Tier 2 and Tier 3. Now you might say, sir, hana illa sir avaratra. Enta sir? ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಕನಸು ಕಾಣಿಸಿ ನಮಗೆ ನೀವು Tier 2 Tier 3 ಹೋಗಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ನಾವು ಏನಾದರೂ ಐಫೋನ್ ನೀವು ಕೊಂಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಹಣ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸ್ಮಾರ್ಟ್ ಫೋನ್ ಕೊಂಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಹಣ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಹಣ ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಹಣ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಬೇಕು ನಮಗೆ. ಬಟ್ ಲುಕ್ ಎಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಸ್. You only have 100 million people in the bracket of disposable income. What is disposable income meaning? That means after taking care of all my necessities, there's still money left which I can spend. Okay, some people, the people who have more money spent, they go and do all sort of shopping. Even if they want one dress, they'll buy 5 dresses. They'll think that naale agtade naadiddu agtade. Correct? They want one phone, but they will buy a bigger phone. ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಿರೋದು ಬರೀ ಕಾಲ್ ಮತ್ತು ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ಮಾತ್ರ, ಬಟ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಿಲ್ ಬೈ ಅ ಬಿಗರ್ ಫೋನ್. ಯು ಮೇಕ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್? ಸಮ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಸ್ನ್ಯಾಪ್ಡ್ರ್ಯಾಗನ್ 12. They don't play any games like me, right? But they still want the bigger phones. You understand? That means they have larger disposable income, so they want the best quality, higher value, and so on. Perception is too high. But if you look at the trailing segment, apart from this 100 million, India is 1.2 billion, right? There's still 1 billion population. What are they buying? Think of it. That's where the opportunity is. What can you build for that 1 billion is the opportunity. 100 million, everybody is trying to get a share out of it. Every company that you see is trying to get a share out of that 100 million. So if you also want to get into that, you got to be better than them. Look at Xiaomi. What did they do? They got the best features for a lower price. But they made money by doing volumes. Who is the biggest startup today in India? Dandanadan. Jio. See, Airtel was making a lot of money. But who made the best money? Jio. Why? Because it focused on the lower segment. It did not focus on the top tier, it focused on the lower tiers. Because that's where the volume is. Today, every individual in the remotest places is having Jio connection. Look at the sheer size that they build. That's where the money is. So, just look at some numbers. You see this? 45% of all soft drinks are sold in rural market. 45%. It's a large market share. Okay, there is technical problem here. Yeah. 50% of all motorcycles are sold in rural areas. 60% of all cigarettes are consumed by rural consumers. Just wanted to put that in between because you're of that age, don't smoke. 55% of all FMCG products are sold in rural markets. When I say FMCG products, it means your shampoo, soap, toothbrush, toothpaste, etc. Fast moving consumer goods. 50% of the national incomes, rural areas. Kisan credits, look at the sheer number. Even if you look at some of the best examples of ICICI, which became a very big, huge bank, it became because it tagged with NGOs and self-help groups in the rural areas, because that's where the sizes were. Look at one of the best example of Grameen Bank. I don't know whether you have read about it, but it does microcredits, microfinances, etc. Grameen Bank became one of the biggest hit from Bangladesh. Again, because they focused in tier 2, tier 3. Do you know these names? You have heard about that? World-class infrastructure on heart surgeries, but focused on tier 2, tier 3. Most profitable business. Second one, Fool. Have you heard about it? They do agarbattis out of the flowers that are disposed in your temples. So they take the flowers that are disposed, then they take it to a place where it is kept out for drying, and the women of that region actually convert them into agarbattis. They do a lot of export. Jaipur food, have you heard about it? Jaipur food, have you heard about it? Specifically, people who come from the war, they get amputated, but they do need to have a place in the society. They want to work normal. They want to go and work, especially the people who are in the tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, who do not have that much money to spend on prosthetics. They wanted an alternative. Jaipur food does it. Today it is one of the largest prosthetics manufacturer. It exports. And it exports to foreign countries, where again people who have gone to the military and have been amputated, they get back their lives because of their amputations. Arvind Eye Care System, cataract surgery. They specialize in cataract surgery and do that for poor. 2 lakh cataract surgeries. Sheer numbers, volumes. All these are examples for some of the best products or processes that they have changed to cater to that category. When I say that category, it is a sheer size, 1 billion people. I'll give you some more examples of people. Have you heard about this student who built a water purifier called Nirnal? Brilliant kid from Hubli. He built this water purifier which you could actually filter any muddy water. Especially in the floods, when people did not have access to drinking water, they actually used his device to fit it inside a bottle and drink that water. It saved a lot of lives. Praful is one. The rest of the 3 were actually my students. Praful is one of those enterprises. He's still in 3rd year. He built a mushroom incubator for farmers in our region who are having additional income because of that incubator that is being built. The next guy is Affinity. He's a software guy, but he did not want to code. So he went to cashew nut industry, local cashew nut industry, which was doing a turnover of more than 400, 500 crores. But he found that they did not have a good process or a software in place. So he went and started working with them, then eventually built a software that they have paid for. They have invested in that software. Now another 17 industries in that region are using. He's still in third year. The Quest is a game that the students built for school kids because they knew that they were a lot more interested or invested in playing those PUBG and so on. But these guys wanted to build a game where they don't just learn, but at the same time they work with the community to build some solutions. These guys got a fund of 25 lakhs and they're building that. These kids are still in second year. And they got an offer from one of the organizations to do it across 20,000 schools in the north. Second year. These are some of the parameters. Of course, this was a little more for the higher category. But these are some of the parameters which when you work around, you can actually build something that is totally brilliant. By the way, when I say community-centric innovation, what does it mean? Innovation. Is invention and innovation same? Because the kind of letters that we use in both of those words are similar. Is invention and innovation same? No. It's not same. Why? Bringing up something new. Innovation is also bringing something new itself, right? You are very intellectual people. So right, invention is basically something that you do out of, it wasn't existing, but you did something out of experimentation, accident, or perhaps a deep research. But innovation is when you take that invention to masses. Okay, invention is still in the lab, but innovation is what you take it out to the masses. When you commercialize it, when you make a lot of people use it, that's when innovation happens. So if you really want to build innovation, that means you build, and it could be it does not have to have your AI, ML, blockchain jargons. It could be as simple and as to see around, but then nobody thought of building it for masses. There is one student that is working with a local innovator in my region, and that person has actually built a machine for removing pepper, because they grow a lot of pepper there. So to remove those pepper from the from the plant, he has built a machine. That machine that he has given out, he has given out about 20 machines. He's not a manufacturer. He has just designed it because he wanted one. Then his friends asked one. Then the friend's friend asked one. So he built about 20-25 machines and he has given it away. The machines have been running for the last 4 years and have not got spoiled. And the farmers in that region are happily using it. So these bunch of kids went there and saw that. They were mechanical engineers. They wanted to do something about it. They went and said, hey, I'm a mechanical engineer. I know SolidWorks. My teachers taught me, and that question came in the exam for 25 marks. But can I do something beyond that? They're working with that farmer, local farmer, who has designed that machine to improve that design, to see whether they can manufacture the parts and assemble it so that more people can use it. That's quite a good example, right? So how do you redesign an existing thing, eliminate something that is already existing, or come up with a completely different solution, alternative for an existing thing that can now reach masses, can also give you a lot of innovation. So these are some of the parameters that I've listed down. It's also from one of the finest books by C.K. Prahalad. You can look into this. You can, even if you work around these topics like price performance, innovation hybrid means how do you build things that are both, both relevant infrastructure, relevant to that region, scale of operations. How do you try to build something for larger masses? Especially when you are using technology, you can quickly build things for larger masses. Best example is, we don't get access to great teachers, right? They are only few in numbers. But how do I make an entire, bunch of youth access to the best knowledge? How? Education institution, if all the best faculties come to SIT TUMKUR, what will people from Bangalore do? Huh? Online education, right? MOOCs became one of the biggest innovation, right? Massive open online courses, correct? That was the biggest movement in education. That's something that we're talking about. How do you do scale of operation? And most of the times, it's possible because of technology. That's why anybody who talks about startups, There's a difference. Startups and lifestyle business. Lifestyle business is a business that you build around what you want to have as a lifestyle. Okay, I want to have great clothes, I want to have a good house, I want to have my own property. It would require 50-60 lakhs per year. That's the revenue that I want to grow, so I will build a business around it. That's my lifestyle business. But some people are not happy. Some people want to build a great business, big business. They want to expand it, right? That's a startup. And the faster you grow, that would be defined as a startup. Okay? Now for such businesses, you want scale. And most of the times, the scale is possible because of technology, or at least enabled by technology. It need not be pure technology, but it might be enabled by technology. Give me an example. Adobe was there. Adobe you have used. But what's an alternative that you're using today? Because you don't want to go through the hustle of Adobe. Which is the alternate software that you're using for design today? Canva. Have you used Canva? Yes, so you have used Canva, right? It's a listed company today. It's an Australian company, but look at the sheer size that they have built. They're expecting $22 billion of revenue this year. 9 types of business model. Again, I don't want to get deep into that, but just for you guys to know it, you can go and research about this. These are possibly, one of the business models your business will fit into. Again, for the same set of people, same category, but the business model would transact hover around one of these. And there are quite examples that you can find in internet, but traditionally speaking, 9's this one. What did I miss? Yeah, could you please go back? That's my fault. Yeah, slide. Right. Okay, so therefore, this one was slightly for the other crowd, but again, I will try to put it into your perspective. We define, for this kind of a framework to exist, there needs to be some sort of an education around it. Understand that education is not just for you, but it also has to be for the community. What if tomorrow you come up with a great idea, will the community support you? Let's say you want to do something in waste management, which is the biggest problem today. Would the community around you support you? Will they come and say, come, I really want to help you, and then let's build it around the waste management. They'll say, Hogappa, first year alli alla hogi sariyagi kaltko. Correct? So the community also needs to be educated in order to support your idea. So the education starts from helping you to come up with the process, helping you to navigate through different steps to build an idea, and then prototype, and then MVP, and so on and so forth, until you build an industry grade product. But at the same time, it also involves how do you bring the community within your college. Now let's say, so when I studied in my college, we did not wait for somebody to help us, okay? We did not expect some faculty to come and initiate things. We as youth also have a lot of potential. You don't have to wait for the institution to do things. Institution already has a lot of name, they have credibility. You guys can go out, bring community within the college. Don't bring gundas and all, for pettigaladarbedi. But you can actually get a lot of people who can help people like you and others to get inspired about these sectors which are otherwise forgotten. But why should you do it? ನೀವ್ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ನೀವ್ಯಾಕೆ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಸರಿ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? Why do you have to worry about waste management? Why do you have to worry about fresh water access, health care? ನಿಮಗೆ ನಾಳೆ ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ? Why do you have to worry? ನಮಗೂ ಅದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. Do you know that have you ever thought of what happens to the plastic that you have disposed? ಮನೆಯಿಂದ ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಹೋಯ್ತಾ ಅದು? ಕಾಣೆದ? ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೋಯ್ತು? ಬಾಹ್ಯಾಕಾಶಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಯ್ತಾ? Where did it go? ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೋಯ್ತು? ಸ್ಪೇಸಿಗೆ ಹೋಯ್ತಾ ಅದು? ಎಲ್ಲೋಯ್ತು ತೊಟ್ಟೆ ಅದು? ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಈಗ ನೀವು ಹೋಗಿ ಎಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ ಅಂಗಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ? ಎಂತ ಮಾರ್ರೆ, ಅದು ಗವರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಒಂದು ಬಂದು ಪ್ಲಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್ ಬ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಹೋದ್ರು, ಈಗ ಎಂತ ಕೈಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗುದಾ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. You think what we have done, the plastic that goes out of your house, it disintegrates into microplastics, okay? And it peaks inside the soil. It might either it might become so small that it might get inside the plant, and that plant you might consume, or it might, when it rains, it might go along with the water bodies, reach the river stream, comes back to you in terms of your drinking water. So where is the plastic? You getting the point? We have not thought of it, right? We have not seen the cycle. So whatever you do is going to come back to you. So it is better we as youth focus on how do we ensure that our future and our next generation's future is secure. Let's not blame on the past. Your present is always given by the past generation, or is it borrowed from the future generation? It's borrowed from the future generation. What you do matters to the future generation. It's very critical that you get educated about these things. Okay, now the second point. If I get educated, fair enough, I know the process. What can I do? As students, there's a lot of scope for internship today, right? Lot of scope for internship. But there is a debate also in internship. Naneke pay ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಆ ಕಂಪನಿ ಪೇ ಮಾಡಲಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಕಂಪನಿ ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ತಾನೆ? ನಾನು ತುಂಬ ನಾಲೆಜಿಬಲ್, ನನಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ತಾನೆ? ನೀವು ಹೋಗಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರ್ತೀರಾ ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಕಂಪನಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಪೇ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ತಾನೆ? For which you have to prepare yourself. So if you get educated in the first stage, then you will have qualities, capabilities that will be developed in you, that you can go and help the company and say, hey, your product is this, right? I can go and do a lot more marketing. I can create a new market, or I can develop your product so that you can have more revenue. From that extra revenue that I've created, can you give me some? That's a good way to put, correct? Or otherwise, you can say that I want to learn so that tomorrow I can build something of my own. Can you help me out? In which case, because you spend some time for me, I'm going to give you equal amount of money. That's also fair. Either of it has to happen. Now, if it happens at an early stage, then in the second stage, you can do consultation. Now, in consultation, there are different categories. But as student, what can we consult? Can we do something? Obviously, yes. You don't have to be Einsteins. And you don't have to always work with Elon Musk. I know that you guys keep reading all the tweets, but you don't have to be that great. Start with small steps. Go to your local MSMEs. They have plenty of problems. Digitization of MSMEs is the biggest sector today. They have not been digitized. They can't compete with larger companies. Can you help them as engineers? Can you pick some small problems and help them out? That's what you can do. That's where you can consult, and you charge them a small money if they were willing to give. And if you make new businesses for them, 100% you can take a share out of it. But you don't do anything. You go and sit there, Maharaja, Maharani, selfie ತಗೊಂಡೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದು ನಮಗೆ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಶಿಪ್ಗೆ ಹಣ ಕೊಡಿ, ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಲೆಟರ್ ಕೊಡಿ. Don't do that. You're wasting their time. Make sense? That's where you can bring in consultation element. And the third stage is innovation. You can't innovate unless and until you have gone deep into that topic. That means you have given enough time. How many of you are from data science background here? Computer science specialization in data science, computer science specialization is AML. Nobody here? Nivella, mechanical with civil. Oh, electronics. Sorry, Nande branch. Electronics and communication, raise your hands. Correct. You are talking about IoT, blockchain, AML, these are all interrelated. These are only applications. Correct? Now, for you to know IoT, is it sufficient? It's a technology. It's a technology. IoT is Internet of Things, technology. What is more important? Where to apply it? Have you ever gone to an Amazon warehouse? Do you know what a fulfillment center is? Have you come to Bangalore and you have checked Blinkit? Dunzo, 10 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಲಿವರ್ ಆಗ್ತದಂತೆ. ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ನೀವೆಂತ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ? 10 ನಿಮಿಷದ ಎಂತ ಡೆಲಿವರ್ ಆಗೋದು? ಅವನು ಎಂತ ಸ್ಕೂಟರನ್ನು ಫುಲ್ 120 ಓಡಿಸಬೇಕಾದಿತ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. Is it true? Or is he flying and coming? How is he coming? Because there is something called as fulfillment centers. They have built a robust system where the moment you put it in your application, the things are getting readied by a robot, not by humans. There is a fulfillment center. And one of the most sophisticated fulfillment centers are done by Amazon. But we are also having a lot of fulfillment centers. You need to check that. That's a big thing that is coming up. Look into it. There's a brilliant opportunity in those areas. Robotics has a brilliant opportunity. AML has a brilliant opportunity. Data analytics has a brilliant opportunity. But now if you say that I've got data science and specialization in data science and AML, and suddenly go to Amazon and say, bro, ನನಗೆ ಜಾಬ್ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ನೀವು. Will they give? You sit in your campus placements and ask for job. Will they give? No, because you don't know anything about their warehouses. You have no clue about what their retail segment is. So what, at the max, what they will give you as a job? Analyst, tester, developer ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ತದೆ. But that's the product service These are the areas that are going to get job into. But if you have really worked in your second and third year, going to those centers, spending some time there, you have a better opportunity. Make sense? Make sense? Great. So then the last thing comes in innovation. So if you have spent good enough time, you might figure out an area that they have missed out. And that solution that you have built for them can be done for every other industry in the same segment. Correct? That's when the innovation happens. That's the 3 stages that you need to go through. First one is education. Second one is, ಅದೇ ಕಾಪಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ನೀವು ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ. ನಾನೇನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ, ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು, ಸೊ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಶಿಪ್. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ನೋವೇಷನ್. ಇಟ್ ಟೇಕ್ಸ್ ಟೈಮ್. ಸೊ ಎಲ್ಲವನ್ನು ಒಂದೇ ದಿನದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಗಿಸಬೇಡಿ. ಸರ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ 3 ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್, ದರ್ ಆರ್ 3 ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ನೀಡ್ಸ್ ಟು ಕಮ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒನ್, this is again not for you, but I will help you in a certain way. If you really want such MSMEs to connect, where will you go? First call goes to papa ನನಗೊಂದು MSME ಒಂದು ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಶಿಪ್ ತೆಗೆಸಿಕೊಡಿ. ನನಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದು MSME ಪರಿಚಯ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಡನ್. ಪಪ್ಪನಿಗೆ ಪರಿಚಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೆ, ಹಾಗಾದ್ರೆ ಈ ಸರ್ತಿ ಇಂಟರ್ನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. This is what happens. The first thing you got to do is go to the community. Go meet your district innovation centers. Go meet your MSME clusters. Meet them. Find out what is the biggest industry in your sector. There are associations. Otherwise, at the max you can do is go to the municipal corporation. Okay? And then start talking to those people out there. There are a lot of statisticians there. You can talk to them. There are a lot of departments who hold a lot of information about that region. So you can start talking from there. That's how you start talking to the community. And you will start building your network. The moment you are very closely connected with the community, you will get to know where the opportunities are. The second one is you, problem solvers, start building small projects. I'm very surprised that you have not built any projects, but I shouldn't be surprised after 4 years if you continue the same. Okay, please build mini projects, because you can't build bigger things if you have not started from the smaller things. So start building small projects. Don't do mini projects because your teacher has asked. Build mini projects because you really want to learn. Cool? The third thing is technocrats. You need to meet those people. Who are these people? You are seniors. You want to meet somebody from Amazon? Perhaps one of your senior might be there in Amazon. How do you go? How do you find them? Go, give hashtag Amazon Siddhaganga Institute of Technology in LinkedIn. On Instagram ante Basildava. Give it in LinkedIn. Correct? Now you will get a lot of profiles who are from Siddhaganga Institute of Technology who are in Amazon. Or you change the names to developer, product developer, UI UX designer, etc. Whatever it is. Data analyst, data engineer, machine learning scientist. Give those tags, you will get those names. Connect with them and tell them, I'm in first year, I'm in second year of SIT, and I'm really enthusiastic about this particular sector. Can you please spend 1 hour with me to tell me how can I become one amongst you? Do you really think he will say, Hogamma? Because nobody has approached them, and they are always loyal to their institution. Somebody reaches out to me from my college, I'd be more than happy. Hana keladidre saaku. Right? So those are the 3 things. Can you do this? Is it simple? Is it simple? Can you reach out to your community, local communities? Can you do that? And the malagidare hege. Madam, ನೀವು ಈಗ LinkedIn ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಡುಕಬೇಡಿ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಹುಡುಕಿ. Is it possible to reach out to your community? ನಿಂಗಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ ಅವಳಿಗೆ. Possible? Second one, can you reach out to your alumnus network? And third one, to become a problem solver, what do you start with? To become a problem solver, what did I tell? What should you start with? Start building small projects. Don't build big projects. ನಾಳೆ ರಾಕೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಲಾಂಚ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬೀಳ್ಬೋದು, ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. Okay, so this is something that I would wish every institution does. This is my last slide. First, spend a week in the field. Week in the field ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಗದ್ದೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಓಟ ಅಲ್ಲ. Week in the field ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ pick one sector. Okay? Suppose you want to go to a local MSME, spend 1 week with them. ಒಂದು ದಿವಸ ಹೀಗೆ ಟೂರಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗಿ ಬರಬೇಡಿ. ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದು ಶಾಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಮೆಷಿನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿಸಿ, ನೋಡಮ್ಮ ಇದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ವೀಲ್, ಇದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ವೀಲ್, ಸರಿ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ವಿಸಿಟ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಡೂ ದಟ್. Spend at least a week. That is when you exactly get to know. You need to be, what do you mean by empathize? ನಿಮಗೆ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ತಾನೆ? ಇನ್ನೋವೇಷನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಉಂಟು ನಿಮಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರಲ್ಲಿ. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ವಾ? ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಯರ್ನವರು ಮರ್ತು ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಅವನಿಗೆ ನಾನು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಯಾವುದಂತ ಕೇಳಿದರೆ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಈಗ ಮರ್ತೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ನೆನಪುಂಟ? ನೋಡೋರಿಗೆ ಮರ್ತೋಗಿದೆ ಪಾಸ್ ಆದ್ಯಲ್ಲ. Empathy, what do you mean by empathy? Being in someone else's shoes, looking from their perspective. But being in somebody else's shoes doesn't mean that you sit and think about them. You have to be there. You have to feel it. So I was mentoring one child. He's in 8th standard. His name is Rishon. And he came to me and said, sir, I want to build some product. He's very interested in entrepreneurship. So we put him into one of our programs. We run a cohort. We put him in our programs. He wanted to build something for healthcare. You know what he did? He wanted to redesign wheelchair. Okay? And the way he did this, he went to meet a lot of people who have been bedridden or have been assisted by wheelchair. He brought a wheelchair and he stuck himself to wheelchair for at least a week. And then he came and said, sir, it hurts my back. You have back sores and it is so painful to sit in a wheelchair that is designed for these guys. That's the reason why I want to change the design of the wheelchair. He came up with a lot of designs and it was very interesting to see the kind of designs that he has made, and he's slowly building that product. He's still in 9th standard. It is impossible for you to feel what other goes through unless and until you are there in the field. So at least spend a week. That's the first step. Second one, day with the grassroots innovators. In your sector, find out who has frugally innovated things. He might not be a big name, so you can't find them in newspapers. You have to go through the first connect, I said, community connects, because they know who in that particular area, sector would have innovated. The third is hackathons. You can bring a lot of your alumnus to work along with you on specific things. You can request your, club members, if you are having student clubs, you can request them to bring together alumnus to do hackathons. Fourth one is regional meetups. So there are plenty of meetups that happen on specific fields of interest. If you are interested in product development, there are product development meetups happening. If you are interested in AML meetups are happening. Go meet them. When you meet them, you will have their connects. And with those connects, you can start developing your knowledge. The fifth one is demo day. That's if you have projects built and if your college organizes project exhibitions, you got to be there. You got to show what you have done, not because you want to win prizes, but because the ability of you to sell your product to a lot more people would eventually go on enhancing. And one day you'll be able to sell it in the right way. And the last one is, that is again to ensure that you are celebrated whenever you succeed, but at the same time, you can create occasions for other people's celebrations also. That's it. So that's how you build the potential of the largest demography of the country, that is youth, by building their potential to make them more entrepreneurial and help them to build products for our regional communities. We can actually develop our country. Okay? Now nobody does that for us. We are in the country, so it is on us how do we develop that country. So through this, we can create our education as the epicenter of innovation. That's it. First one, education. Second one, third one, innovation. But to do that, what did I say? 3 things that are most essential. First one, meet whom? Meet local communities, MSMEs. If you don't get the connect of MSMEs, whom should you meet? Seniors and meet agudu. Municipal corporation, right? Go there, talk to them. They have a lot of problems. Second one, you should become problem solvers. So start doing mini projects, not because your teacher has asked you to do mini projects, not because you're going to get 20 marks. Third one, technocrats. These guys are your alumnus. How do you find them? LinkedIn, not matrimony. Ensure that the first step, even before you go to LinkedIn, one of the things that you can do is go and ask your placement officer. Placement officer knows which company they have joined. If your placement officer does not have that data, what do? You build a software for her and sell it. Okay, thank you.
Proud alumni of SIT for panel discussion So it's a unique kind of session wherein our moderator, Dr. U. Chandrasekhar, he will be just doing a panel discussion with them. The importance of this panel discussion is to highlight how science and technology is helpful for them to build their career. Some of them have become entrepreneurs, some of them are in the field of corporate world. In order to know how science and technology is very helpful for them to achieve what they are now today. Now I just go through the panel discussion the details regarding who are the members of this panel discussion. We have with us Dr. Niranjan Kalyan Durg, Country Head Aerospace Electronic Solutions, Honeywell Technology Solutions, India. I request Dr. Niranjan Kalyan Durg to come to the dais. We have with us Sri Adishesha, Director, Technology and Innovation, Collins Aerospace India, Bangalore. I request Sri Adishesha to come to the dais. I request Mrs. Rashmi Venugopal, Vice President, Alpha Engineering Services, State Street, India, to come to the dais. And I also welcome our moderator, Dr. U. Chandrasekhar, Program Director, Wipro 3D to come to the dais. Let us welcome these dignitaries with a flower bouquet. I request Dr. R. Sunita, Madam, to welcome our Niranjan Kalyan Durga. I welcome Sri Adishesha Shivarama Shastri. I request Dr. R. Suresh to welcome our rest of the delegates. Srimati Rashmi Venugopal. Srimati Pushpalata MS. Dr. Niranjan Kalyan Durg, Sri Adishesha and Srimati Pushpalata. To brief about the delegates who are sitting on the dais, we are very fortunate enough to have these people who have come all the way from Bangalore in spite of their busy schedule and arrangement, and we are very much thankful to Srimati Rashmi Venugopal for accepting at the last moment to come and address our students. Yeah, thank you, madam. To just brief about Niranjan Kalyan Durg, he heads Honeywell Technology Solutions in India. He is responsible for enabling growth, innovation and technology development through new products and solutions across aerospace SBUs, namely electronic solutions, engines and power systems, mechanical systems and components and services and connectivity. He is a part of the aerospace CTO organization and Honeywell Technology Solutions and is responsible for developing and implementing strategic plans, annual operating plans and build capability and talent. Niranjan is in Honeywell for over 23 years and has held leadership positions in business strategy and engineering. He has been instrumental for setting up the aerospace engines and mechanical components engineering capabilities at Honeywell India that include lab and test facilities. He holds 5 patents and several publications to his credit. He holds a PhD in engineering from Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, and an MBA from TA Pi Management Institutions, India. He earned his Bachelor's of Electronic Engineering from Siddhaganga Institute of Technology, TUMKUR, Bangalore University, India. So we are very much proud to have you as an alumni, proud alumni, sir. Thank you, sir. Next panel member is alumni from Instrumentation Technology, Mr. Adishesha. He is currently Director, Technology and Innovation at Collins Aerospace, a subsidiary of Raytheon Technologies. He is the first and only engineer to be recognized as a technical fellow by Collins Aerospace in APAC region. He is responsible for deploying systems engineering processes and practices, driving innovation culture, development of advanced technologies in APAC region and collaboration with academia, R&D and startup ecosystem. Over 30 years in the industry, Adishesha has contributed to the country's most prestigious INSAT missions of ISRO and strategic ballistic missile defense program of DRDO in the capacities of system manager, deputy project director and deputy mission director before he switched over to the business in Philips and Honeywell. Adishesha holds a bachelor in instrumentation from Siddhaganga Institute of Technology and masters in electronics and controls from BITS Pilani. He is a senior member of IEEE and AIAA, Fellow of Institute of Engineers, members of RTCA and SAE Standards Committees, and reviewer for IEEE, PED and SAE. He has 24 patents, 2 trade secrets, and 20 publications. He is recognized with several awards for technical leadership, product development, and innovation, including DRDO Award for path-breaking research and technology development given away by Prime Minister of India. So we are very proud to have you here, sir. So on behalf of SIT, once again, I welcome you, sir. So we have with us Sir Srimati Rashmi Venugopal, Vice President, Alpha Engineering Services, State Street, India. Currently working for State Street, India, Rashmi Venugopal leads the Alpha Engineering team. She is focusing on the firm's data modernization initiative to bring together clients' choice of real-time data and asset intelligence across the investment life cycle, thus helping to facilitate innovation, better inform investment decisions, optimize returns, and streamline business operations. Rashmi Venugopal is an IT leader with over 20 years of experience in data modernization and data management space. She has led several data-related programs, including designing and implementing data lakes, data migrations over cloud, implementing European mandated regulatory programs, build large data warehouses using variety of data warehouses, tools and technologies. In addition, she considers being the lead architect to design and implement the largest data warehouse for US Census 2010 as a feather in her cap. So on behalf of SIT, we welcome you, madam. And we know that for an entrepreneur, his idea is the one which is going to make him successful, but still at the end, money matters a lot. We have a fintech expert here who can also talk about how money can be really a good source for any entrepreneur to come forward. So we have with us one more proud alumni, Pushpalata MS. She is an inspirer, achiever and mentor. She is the founder and CEO, Statist Private Limited, co-founder and director, operations, Garbagudi Group of Companies, advisor for Iron Lady Community. So she has a Guinness record, she is an alumni from Instrumentation Technology. She is a Guinness record holder for conducting the largest health awareness campaign for women and senior citizens. A big round of applause for you, madam. Passionate entrepreneur to scale business from scratch to 100 crore valuation, advisor, Iron Lady Community, certified program leader, Iron Lady, featured as a prized entrepreneur on Harmony Talks, entrepreneurial, ISB 10,000 women entrepreneurs supported by Goldman Sachs, maternal and child care district director at Rotary District, joint secretary, Confederation of Women Entrepreneurs, Karnataka chapter, convener of health and well-being, and mentor at IIM Rohtak. So this is her achievements. So on behalf of SIT, I once again welcome you, all of you, for this. Before we proceed, let me introduce our moderator, Dr. U. Chandrasekhar. He has already addressed you on 20th, yesterday. So just to brief about him, he was additional director in DRDO from 1986 to 2013, Director General of Institutions of Engineers and visiting professor in IIT Mumbai. In subsequent assignments, led a group of scientists at Central Institute of Aviations, Moscow for flying test bed trials of development aero engine, the first ever additive manufacturing lab in DRDO in 1999. And with focus on stereolithography, fused deposition modeling, and selective laser sintering, carried out multiple projects for defense labs involved in gas turbines, unmanned systems, light combat aircraft, battle tanks, and avionics, and Indo-Canada project on the use of drones for structural integrity evaluations in the areas of additive manufacturing and turbine engineering. So he has done BE at NIT Surathkal and MTech from IIT Madras, and PhD from DRDO Research Center under VTU, and a recipient of gold medal from Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam for academic excellence in 1991. So we congratulate for this, and also he is a visiting professor in Center for Product Design and Manufacturing in Indian Institute of Science. So on behalf of SIT, I welcome you, sir, and now I hand over you to take further.